The workshop of the City Council of the City of Pleasanton, Texas will now come to order January 15th, 2015. The time is 6:32 p.m. Item number 2 is a roll call. Mr. Shines.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Best.
Here.
Ms. Pacifica.
Here.
Mr. Gallegos.
Here.
The record note that Ms. Israel and Mr. Garza are not with us, but we do have a quorum. Item number 3 is presentation discussion concerning the purchase of Cardinal Badge software program for the police department and municipal court systems. Be it the city staff, Cardinal, and Mr. Lushner. Lushner. I knew I was going to mess that up.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Good evening.
Our schedule here this evening is I'm going to give you all about a minute and a half brief overview. At that point, the chief will then give you all a review of the system that we purchased some 4 years ago. And as he leads towards the point of the Cardinal Badge software program, which we're proposing to council this evening, he will bring Mr. Lushner, the CEO of Cardinal Tracking, to the podium, and he has a small 9-slide PowerPoint to describe the components and the provisions of what's in the Cardinal software system. Let me just reiterate, the Cardinal Badge software system is what is already within the walls of the police department and is what the municipal court has been using for years. With that being said, about 4 years ago, Mayor, the council directed the staff to buy another software program which would have allowed for 12 laptop computers, e-citations, and a number of other provisions. The e-citations were in an effort where the municipal court could real-time download citations as they're issued in the field. It was brought to my attention in 2012 that we had some challenges with the system. Shortly after, I believe it was in September or August of 2012, I met with Mr. Puente and Mr. Leshner and the chief. We discussed the provisions of what was bought with the other software program and why we were having problems. And basically it was interfacing the other software with the Cardinal Badge. Mr. Lushner and his folks worked about 6 months, including an engineering and information technology technician. And after 6 months, we were able to interface the e-citations with automatic real-time download with the municipal court. What does this do? This allows for the proper handling of citations, because once that citation is issued, it's in the hands of the municipal court. Mr. Lushner and I met several other times, and Mr. Puente as well, over the next 12 to 14 months. Mr. Lushner informed us that he was ending his relationship and Cardinal's relationship with the other software program. He had spent 6 figures trying to make the interface work. An engineer and an information technology technician working on this around the clock just for Pleasanton. A year has passed. Our officers in the field do not have what we tried to obtain and provide for them. We're proposing this evening that you all consider and hopefully give us direction to buy the Cardinal Badge software program to install in those vehicles. The existing hardware will stay. The laptops and all that type of thing will stay. This is the software program. At this point, I'll turn it over to Chief Sanchez, and he'll give you a brief overview of some of the provisions that we purchased with the other system, and then be turned over to Mr. Lushner. Please keep in mind when Mr. Lushner comes to the podium, he will highlight the provisions of this new system that were not bought with the old one. So we are receiving some additional provisions, if you will.
Chief, before you get started, Mr. Arbazo, will you please note that Mr. Garza and Ms. Israel are now with us?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Mr. Pearson didn't leave me a whole lot left to say.
No.
He read my cue cards.
We made it easy on you.
All right, thank you, sir. Back in 2011, like Mr. Pearson explained, the council directed us to purchase this software program. Big selling point of this software program is the officers can do their reports in the field, meaning less office time, and that's a huge advantage for us. That means we keep officers on the streets at all times. That never worked, and there was some other items that we were told it would produce, and that never worked. Cardinal's been good to us. They've tried, we've used their records management system for several years, and they've always been good to us. This purchase of upon the purchase, the interface of the other software was, the purchase software with the Cardinal badge system was difficult at best. The software was to have features that allowed for e-tickets, citations, automatic citation downloads to the municipal court, GPS tracking for knowing where officers were at all times, which is very important, especially if you have an officer in distress. Automatic interface of reporting with the Cardinal badge system in the police department, uniform crime reports, and racial profiling reports. That, it didn't produce that. They've tried, Cardinal is, in my opinion, gone above and beyond to try to make this right for us. In fact, Steve flew in from Louisville tonight to be here. I'm going to relinquish the floor to him in a few minutes. We've had several challenges with the old system. Cardinal tried for several months to make the interface a success with the old system and badge, and it never worked. We still had officers who had to go to this day, we still have officers who have to go to the office to do their offense reports. And that takes, it's up to their sergeant to coordinate, have one officer in there go do his reports while the other one stays out. It's not only an inconvenience, but it's not a good extension of our human capital. We've since turned off the other system. We no longer are using them at all. This old system was for 12 units. The price they've given us today is for 16 units, because of course, our fleet has increased. We now have 16 patrol vehicles. The city staff, in an effort to maintain the original purpose of the hardware and software installation in 12 patrol units, has engaged discussions with Mr. Bushner and Cardinal for about 1.5 years now. The purpose was to explore the opportunity of transitioning to the badge software program in the patrol vehicles. The badge software program does fulfill all of the features of the original software package and more. The features offered by the badge system is mobile site, which would be the laptop citation issuance, municipal court management, citations, once they hit enter on the laptop, goes directly to the judge's office. Badge records management system, our officers would be able to do their reports in the field. A better GPS tracking system. We can set parameters on it, such as if an officer hits a certain miles per hour, the dispatcher will be notified. We'll know where they are. We'll know if a car's been parked 2 or 3 hours idling. It'll notify us. They're also including the CAD 911, which is computer-aided and silent dispatch. We don't have that now. I think that would be a huge asset for us. And mobile link. We're requesting direction from the City Council to purchase the badge software system for the 16 patrol units. Do you want Mr. Lushner to... Before I go into this, I'm going to hand it over to Mr. Lushner. He has about a 9-slide PowerPoint. He wants to go over the finer points, then I'll come back in for this. Okay? Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Steve Lushner.
Thank you, Chief.
Good evening, Mayor and council members.
Good evening.
Thank you for the opportunity to come and speak to you this evening. Myself and Steve Puente, who you worked with for many years and who's retiring, whether we want him to or not, and Connie McLaughlin, who's going to be taking her place. Appreciate your time this evening. I want to take a few minutes of time to talk to you about the system that we're proposing, what it brings to the city, both in terms of officer efficiency and also officer safety. So I'm just going to walk through some of the overview of the application and what it brings to the table here. So if we start off, the first thing I want to talk about is the company itself, because really, software is software, and it's about the people who are providing this service to you. We've been in business, we're in Louisville, just a little bit north of Dallas. We've been in business since 1982. We have 36 employees. We have over 400 clients. We're in public safety and also parking enforcement across the United States and Canada. And the most important bullet of that is we've been working with the city of Pleasanton since 2001 with the badge records management system and the court solution. So it's a long-term relationship for us, and we think it's very important. In addition to the software, you have to have service, and it's all about the people and the relationship that we've built. We have at Cardinal support technicians that have been working with us for over 9 years. That's the average. So when someone calls, whether it's the chief, whether it's one of the officers out in the field, they're going to talk to people that they know. We get to know one another. We've been working with them with badge and with court. We understand your operation. We understand your software. You're not calling and having to re-explain how you do things every time you call on the phone. That's the one key that's important to us with our customers, is building that long-term relationship. You call to talk to the same person that understands. We offer comprehensive training programs. That's one of the things we pride ourselves on, is actually educating everyone and making sure that the officers feel comfortable being able to do their job, whether it's out in the field or in the office. And again, because we're not that far away, we're a short drive, it's very easy for us to come down here and help solve problems. We don't want to be the type of company that says, well, if you need us to come on site, that's something that's going to cost you X dollars. We're all in this together. We're a team. We want to solve any issues that come up together. That's what we're really all about. This is the most important slide that I want to show you this evening, and it's all about integration. So what the chief was talking about and what Mr. Pearson were talking about earlier was making sure that everything works together. We originally signed up with this third-party company because the technology that they promised, being able to integrate with other agencies nationwide, was a great technology and would have been beneficial to all of our customers. I still think today the technology would be great, but the company itself wasn't able to deliver that, as Mr. Pearson and the chief have mentioned to you. So that's one of the reasons that we've ended our relationship. We now offer these services ourselves. So as I've mentioned, some of the products, everything is integrated. So our badge product is our records management system, which is where all the reports are done by the officers, whether it's in the office or what we're promoting is out in the car. The court management system that you also have today, our CAD 911, which is our computer-aided dispatch, and our mobile site for e-citations, and our mobile link out in the field, which allows for vehicle and person inquiries, being able to do reporting out in the field, and also doing silent dispatch, which we'll talk about shortly. It also allows them to message from car to car, but it's all one picture. It's all one product. It all talks together. The issues that we're dealing with today, being able to integrate reports and the officers not being able to do their work out in the field because it doesn't transfer back into the records management system back at the office, the citation issues and the delays in getting them into the court, those are all resolved because Cardinal is the one that's taking care of it. It's our products. We've written them to all work together. So it completely encompasses all the roles of badge and court and provides everybody being able to communicate together. As we talk about the RMS system, the records management system, a few of the items that were actually brought up by the chief, the citations are imported into court and badge. There's no more data entry. So those citations are validated out in the field. We make sure that the officers are entering the data correctly. It goes in. There's no updating or changing by the court clerks. It's all coming in. It's all straight validated out in the field. The incidents are validated and controlled out in the field, ensuring that the officers are entering all the correct information, but being able to stay out and continue doing work out in the community. Those incidents and reports are then automatically and seamlessly integrated in real time directly back to the RMS back at the office as well. Driver and vehicle searches during a traffic stop. One of the things that you have today, you have the ability to run a person's plate or type in a person's name and date of birth and be able to look up their history. And that's done through a system called TLET. So that's going to look and see if there are any state warrants or anything like that. One of the things you don't have today, you have this records management system that contains all kind of history, but the officer's not able to access that. So the one key piece you're missing today is you don't know if actually the city of Pleasanton has dealt with this person before. With our system, because it's all integrated, they're going to immediately get not only all of the state inquiries and get the information on the violator or on the vehicle, but it's going to complete that picture because it's going to let you know if anybody in the city has ever dealt with this person before. What is the history? Have they been arrested? Have they had a citation? Have they been a victim in an offense? Have they been in an accident? Anything, they can get that complete history at their fingertips, and it really makes it easier to do their job. And it's an important tool that I think is missing today. The UCR reports, UCR, which stands for Universal Crime Reporting, is really kind of a boring topic, but it's necessary when you hear on the news today, violent crime is down 10% in the city of Dallas or whatever. That's where all of these numbers are coming from. And in order for a city or a police department to be in compliance, they have to generate these reports that says, how many incidents did we enter? What was the reason for the incident? All of these rules and regulations that have to be processed. Today, because you don't have that integration and you don't have all of that data being tracked out in patrol cars and with the officers, these reports are being done by hand every single month. So somebody's having to sit there with a piece of paper and go through and look at every single incident record, look it up, make a tick mark, do the counts. It's a very tedious process, hours and hours of work. Not only hours of work, but also prone to errors. People are going to make mistakes. They're going to miscount. It's a very important and critical aspect in communicating with the state. And having a true RMS is going to take care of that for you. So that's a very big benefit. We also track, as the chief mentioned, racial profiling, which is also a requirement of the state of Texas now. We can require the officers to enter in the required information out in the patrol car when the citation is being issued. And then the actual reports are generated and validated. And it's you press one button and those reports that keep you in compliance will run automatically. TAD is another program that you don't have today. It allows the dispatchers to actually communicate with the patrol cars and with the officers. And it's really all about officer safety. One of the biggest things that we mentioned is silent dispatch. So today, a call comes in, the dispatcher picks it up, the dispatcher gets on the radio, calls out to the officer in the car, and dispatches them to the scene. Anybody with a police scanner can also listen in on that. Whether you're a good guy, you're a bad guy, you're the News 8 traffic copter, whatever you are, you all get the same information. So an officer safety issue, having someone being able to get there before the officer does. The officer needs to be the only one that knows about the call and needs to be able to take those precautions. In our system, it's all done from the dispatch office directly down to the laptop in the patrol car. So the dispatcher can look online, see who's available, click a button, send the call out to the officer. The officer acknowledges that they're en route, and it all happens without any radio communication. It not only makes it officer safety, it also makes it more efficient for the dispatcher. So they're not having to spend all the time managing all of the radio traffic. They can do it through the silent dispatch through the application. One of the other things for officer safety that you don't have today, if an officer is out on a traffic stop and the dispatcher is busy and you haven't heard from that officer, he hasn't cleared the call in 10 or 15 minutes, that's an issue of concern. Maybe that officer is in trouble. Our system automatically sets alarms based on the type of call the officer is issued to, whether it's a burglary, whether it's a traffic stop. And if that officer hasn't made contact, it will automatically pop up a message to tell and alert the dispatcher that we haven't heard from this officer. So we're all about making sure that they're keeping their eyes and ears focused on the officers out in the field and kind of, being their backup plan out in the field. We talked a little bit about real-time GPS mapping. We have proposed hardware that gets mounted into the car. So whether the car is running or not, whether the laptop's on or off, we can still track and see where the patrol car is. We can also add features that we talked about and wired into the car so that if the light bar is turned on, if the car reaches a certain speed, if the officer is assigned to patrol in a certain zone and they leave that zone for whatever reason, all these things can be alerted and provided back to the dispatcher to be able to see what's going on. If a call comes in, they can easily see where the call is on the map. They can see where the closest officer is, visually make that decision and assign that officer to the car. These are functions that you don't have today that's going to make it more efficient for the dispatchers and for the officers to do their job more efficiently as well. Those are really kind of my summary. We have a fully integrated solution. It has all of the products that are working together, the citations, the field reporting. We're a local company. We're just a few hours away. We're committed to helping and working with you. We've been around for a long time. We've been in this business, as I mentioned, since 1982. And we built our customers based on those relationships that we keep today. And we're all about officer safety and productivity. That's really the most important thing to us today, is to make sure that these people that are out serving and protecting us are being protected as well. So that's kind of my quick presentation on what we're bringing to the table and how we want to make this work. And I'll turn it back over to the chief. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
Mr. Mayor? I have a question.
Please.
Is this system intuitive, or will it require training? And if it requires training for personnel, is that included, or how are they going to go about that?
Yes, sir. The price of training is included, and they will send trainers down. We'll have to train the officers and the communications officers at the same time. But yes, definitely.
But that's all part of the package?
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
very good.
If I may interject, Chief, too, there's been an emphasis on, during the training session and before they leave, there'll be more than one officer being trained at a time. The more technically inclined officers will be with each officer as they're being trained. And also there's an emphasis where the municipal court is concerned that the judge will have full access to the training folks to make sure she's online and everything's operating correctly for her. She already operates out of the Cardinal Badge software program, but where the interface with the citations are concerned, they will confirm that before they leave.
Okay, thank you.
The city staff is requesting direction from city council to purchase the badge software system for 16 patrol units. Cardinal's been very sensitive to the city's dilemma with the previous software and hardware purchase in discounting the badge system. Full credit is given to the mobile link portion of the system. They're giving us a credit of $65,635. The purchase of the badge system to include all 6 features listed above, including installation and license and maintenance fees for years 2 and 3, is $115,755.60, of which $50,487 is the license and maintenance fees. The purchase price for the system without the fees is $65,258.60. And before I go to our options, Mr. Pearson and I have spoke to several individuals who want to help the police department and have offered to contribute financially to help pay for this system. We have $23,593.60 that these people have committed to the price. Again, the total price is $115,755.60, with the commitment from these anonymous donors who wish to remain anonymous. The price would be $92,162. And tonight, our recommendation is to direct city staff to bring a discussion action item at the regular city council meeting on January 15th, 2015, to purchase the Cardinal Badge software system for 16 patrol vehicles to include maintenance costs for years 2 and 3 with the features of mobile site, which is laptop citation issuance, municipal court management, which is automatic citation downloads in the municipal court, badge records management system, which is field reporting and local history searches and sharing, GPS tracking, which is a more comprehensive knowledge of the patrol unit through parameters set on such things as excessive speeds, prolonged stationary vehicle postures, etc. CAD 911, which is a computer-aided and silent dispatch, and mobile link at a price not to exceed $115,000. $115,755.60.
Mayor,
That, well, let me just announce the item. We'll move on to item number 4, which is direction to city staff to bring a discussion action item during the January 15, 2015 regular city council meeting in regards to Cardinal Badge software system in the police department and municipal court system.
Mayor.
Ms. Israel.
yes, I would like to make a motion to direct the city staff to bring a discussion and action item during the January 15th, 2015 regular city council meeting in regards to the Cardinal Badge software program for the police department and municipal court system.
Second.
Second, to direct city staff to bring a discussion action item during the January 15, 2015 regular city council meeting in regards to the Cardinal Badge software program for the police department and municipal court system. Any discussion? None will proceed to the vote. Those in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mayor.
Item number 5.
Mayor, I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second, we adjourn. All those in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Meeting is adjourned at 6:58 p.m. Just to let you know, we will start promptly at 7:05 p.m.